Grade 8 English, Quarter 1, Module 1, Determining Meaning of Words and Expressions. Objectives. Number 1. Identify the meaning of words through context clues. Number 2. Give examples of different types of context clues. Number 3. Express appreciation to local culture. And number 4. Write a paragraph using one or more types of context clues. Pretest. Direction. Choose the meaning of the underlined words using the context clues. Write the letter of the correct answer. Number 1. All medical practitioners, including the Army and police forces, are our frontliners in this pandemic. Thus, these lead in fighting against COVID-19. Letter A. Followers. B. Leaders. C. Observers. D. Participants. Number 2. COVID-19, like Spanish influenza, is a virus that strictly requires home quarantine and physical distancing. Letter A. Curse. B. Disaster. C. Disease. D. Plague. Number 3. The effects of COVID-19 pandemic can be seen worldwide. A. Circumstance. B. Widespread. C. Predicament. D. Situation. Number 4. According to the President, until a vaccine is available, face-to-face conduct of classes is not allowed. A. Cure. B. Immunization. C. Medicine. D. Vitamin. Number 5. The conventional conduct of classes in school is suspended due to COVID-19 pandemic. Thus, for the meantime, this will be substituted with other learning modalities. Letter A. Usual. B. Conservative. C. Modern. D. Seasonal. Activity 1. Review it. Direction. Each given sentence contains boldface word, which probably new to you. Guess the meaning of these words. Choose the letter of the correct answer and write it in our chat box. Number 1. Governments in some parts of the world set their focus on the doldrum of environmental degradation instead of the threats of the present pandemic. Letter A. Delight. B. Despair. C. Joy. D. Trust. Number 2. Our family have always have a fleeting idea of going to Siargao, but we know it will take some time given the present health crisis. Letter A. Constant. B. Endless. C. Long. D. Sudden. Number 3. An oracle is said to have the ability to foresee the future. Letter A. Diviner. B. Fortune teller. C. Priest. D. Scientist. Number 4. People who are despicable should not be avoided. Instead, they should be loved. Letter A. Good. B. Kind. C. Mean. D. Nice. Number 5. I grew up learning to assert my rights and not to be cowed by other people's intimidation. A. Comforted. B. Helped. C. Pleased. D. Scared. Context clues are words that appear in sentences to help understand the meaning of difficult words. Context clues are of different types. Number 1. By definition. The unfamiliar word is defined in a sentence. Example. An archaeologist is a person who searches for treasures from sunken ships and ancient tombs to obtain valuable relics, artifacts, and relics such as the Balanghay boat. The definition: a person who searches for treasures, artifacts, and relics. Number 2. By synonym. A similar word is placed in the same sentence to know the meaning of the unfamiliar word. Example: it is common for Filipinos to feel compassion or pity for the suffering of their fellow men. Synonym: pity. Number 3. By antonym. An opposite word is placed in the sentence or in the same sentence. Example: among the siblings of thin body structure, Isabel is the only one who is portly. Antonym: thin. Number 4. By comparison. A similar word with the same meaning of the unfamiliar word is placed with an object to be compared. Example: the stench of the garbage was like the smell of a rotten fish. Comparison: rotten fish means bad odor. Number 5. By example. Samples are provided in the sentence to understand the meaning of the unfamiliar word. Example: in an ancient times, some of our forefathers believed in amulets, such as pearl of the crocodile, pearl of the axe, bullet necklace, and the bag of herbs to protect them from harm. Example: pearl of the crocodile, pearl of the axe, bullet necklace, bag of herbs. Number 6. By explanation. A description is given to understand the meaning of the unfamiliar word. Example: Matthew had few instructions of the house rules that he should have done as part of his responsibilities. Example: house rules that he should have done. Number 7. By cause and effect. The meaning of the difficult word depends on the cause-effect relationship of the other words as expressed in the sentence. Example: since only a few followed the wearing of the face mask, it was made mandatory by the government. Cause: only a few followed the wearing of the face mask. Number 8. By list or series of clues. To understand the meaning of the unknown word, it is included in a series of words given in a sentence. Example: after the program, the rubbish left such as souvenir programs. Flyers, leaflets, plastic bottles, and food wrappings were cleaned by the janitor. List: souvenir programs, flyers, leaflets, plastic bottles, food wrappings. Number 9. By inference. To understand the meaning of the unknown word, one has to make a guess based on the description given in the sentence. Example: when one shows hospitality, kind words and welcoming actions can be observed among Filipinos. Description: kind words, welcoming actions. Assessment. Read carefully the excerpt of the story The Soul of the Great Bell, then do the activities that follow. Activity 2. Contextualize it. Direction. Determine the meaning of the underlined words based on the context by choosing the letter of your answer. Write it on your paper. Number 1. It was an awful day, horrible and dreadful for the third time. The casting of the great bell was unsuccessful. Letter A. Fearful, B. Foul, C. Happy, D. Nasty. Number 2. Koyo and you might think that the result of making the great bell for the third and the last time was much more likely an egregious failure because of what happened to his daughter. A. Glaring, B. Grievous, C. Scandalous, D. Shameful. Number 3. His animosity or ill feeling because of what happened to his daughter was so great. A. Anger, B. Bitterness, C. Hate, D. Malice. Number 4. Wild with his grief, He felt deep remorse and would have leaped in after his daughter, but strong men held him back. Letter A, guilt. B, regret. C, shame. D, sorrow. Number 5. How the blending with a well-blended brass and coal, with the intermingling of silver and the iron after Kongay lipped, was a conundrum, a puzzle that difficult to solve. Letter A, mystery. B, problem. C, query. D, question. Congratulations, you have reached the end of the lesson. Till next time!